Brodes Media.
Now, speaking of Michkov, there's a lot of rumor circulating that he's not a good teammate, he's a bad person, and that's why he slipped in the draft. Really, what I'm seeing is teams making excuses and trying to justify why they didn't grab such a lethal talent. And one of his teammates says, "My earliest memories of Matvei are of a young man who never wants to leave the ice and talks to all the guys like he's known them for years. I remember thinking to myself, wow, who is this crazy guy? Quickly, I noticed all of his talent and the love he had for hockey. Sometimes I arrived at the arena for practice, and he was already on the ice practicing, trying things that only he knows the secret. He is extremely competitive. He devotes countless hours to improving his game. He constantly wants to find new ways to stand out. In a few years, thanks to his work, we will be able to say that he is a perfect hockey player. Well, sometimes he is expressive," as he laughs. "He's a very good guy. But then there are some nights when, at the start of his stay with us, his emotions took over. During certain games where we lost, he would get up in the locker room and give motivational speeches filled with rage and intensity. I remind you that he was only 18 years old and he was surrounded by veterans. He meant well, but he learned over the year to do it the right way," as he continues to laugh. "Guys come to understand that everything he did was for good of the team and related to his love of the game. And everyone took it, and then he just had a lot of leadership in him. Off the ice, he is very calm and very funny, and we really appreciate him." So that's what one of his teammates, Dimitri, said a month before the draft. Here's what Spittin' Chicklets is running with.
There is some character issues here
Big time.
that have been coming up. Like, have we talked about the fact that apparently he kicked one of his teammates?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard that story,
didn't hear
Merles?
that.
You're our European correspondent.
No, I haven't heard the kicking part.
Yeah, I
heard that. So
I
he's
gave
a
up
bit
on
of a
Russia this year because of the political climate, but no, I hadn't heard that one.
So he's a bit of a
Didn't listen to a
loose
word.
cannon.
Listens to nothing, Biz. I guess coaches are telling him stuff. Veterans, fuck off. So there was big time rumblings, and even I was able to kind of read a message from a guy he played with this year that was like, this kid, as much as I'm trying to give him a shot, is a piece of shit. So I've never.
There is.
Come on, man. I mean, I'm just not buying it. I think what happened is the Flyers got someone at 7. The Montreal Canadiens, there was a ton of outrage. There were people upset, crying in the streets because they go draft a defenseman instead of snagging someone who has as high of a ceiling as Michkov. And now people start running their mouths and creating all sorts of rumors. And I'm not just getting my panties in a bunch because the Flyers were the one to select him. I think this is absolute garbage. I think this is made-up nonsense. Are there some things? Yeah, maybe his teammates said it. Sometimes he showed fire in the locker room. He was upset after a loss. I actually think that there's something to that positively. He's 18, playing in a league with pros, older gentlemen, people who have been around the game for a long time, and he's not shying away. He's not satisfied. He wants more. He wants to win. There's hunger. He's not just going to walk around and start pissing on everybody's stall and saying, "You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of garbage. Get out of here. You're a bum. We need to break everybody apart here and go get real winners," and start screaming in people's faces. That's not what's going on here. And the way they're making it seem, literally, quote, "He's a piece of shit." That's not what's going on here. I promise you that is complete trash. 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 So I'm not buying it at all. And I'm aggravated that that's what's being run with. Outside of the Flyers, he doesn't deserve that at all. If he wasn't Russian, is that viewed the same? What if he was a Swede? What if he was an American? What if he was Canadian? And trust me, I've been around Russians my whole life playing the game. I lived with one when I played for Bay State. In my house. 24/7 around the clock. In my house, at the gym, at the rink, on the road, in the hotels, on the bus trips, you name it. I get the personalities, and I get sometimes the judgment of Russians. I think what we're doing here, though, is creating a narrative to create a narrative. Well, why'd he slip? Why'd he fall? How come no one off the ice issues. This isn't off the ice issues. It's a kid being competitive. Let me get this straight. All we want in sports, as outsiders, as fans, and for some people who cover the game, however it is for people to breathe it, love it, be obsessed with it. All within lines, right? You can't go overboard. You can't punch your teammates. You can't pull a Draymond Green, even though bye-bye Jordan Poole and Draymond Green stays with the Golden State Warriors. So maybe I remove that statement. Maybe I take that part of it back. Maybe it is possible to throw haymakers in practice and set a tone and set a message. But in reality, 99% of the time, you got to play within the lines here. We have someone who's so dedicated, who's so obsessed with winning, and wants to be a Flyer, wants to be in a big market, wanted nothing to do with Arizona, met with the franchise prior, with this family, fell in love with it, and wants to be a part of the change. I don't care what the outsiders think. They want to justify. They want to come up with stuff to make them feel better about what they missed out on. See, I don't work that way. When Cole Caulfield scores 100+ goals, go get the kid. When you draft Cam York, I'm not justifying the pick for Cam York. You missed a golden chance. When you pick Oliver Bonk, I'm not justifying Oliver Bonk over Perreault. Perreault goes to the New York Rangers. Big-time goal scorer. Big-time ability. Played at the National Development Program. There's flaws within their thinking. I don't lie just because they now have acquired Oliver Bonk, even though I think that there's something to his game, and I think he plays a steady, Eddie defensive game that is needed. Might not be filled with Bonk jerseys at the Wells Fargo Center, but someone's got to do the dirty work. Someone's got to get the meat and potatoes. Someone's got to have good gap control in the neutral zone and force the other team to dump it so you can break it out and head out in transition. That stuff is just as important. And yeah, I think he can do that. But I won't make up stories and make up fake things about the other talent surrounding when you drafted for this.